couple of years back, I was a new student here in ASU and coming to the United States, a different country from Kuwait. And I had a couple of problems in navigating places and certainly classes in the first week. And I shared this problem with a lot of international students, one of which my friend Bader here, and he had also the same problem, along with other international students that we interviewed. And he used to come 2 weeks before classes with his friends just to get used to the place and navigate, get used to the campus and where each class is. And that was one solution for him. And we thought of this problem and how to tackle it. And Scott's going to go ahead and explain.
Thank you. So the name of our company is International Accessibility, and we're excited to try and solve some of these challenges with a product called Class Map, a path from your last class to the next one. And basically we're trying to solve two main problems. The core problem is basic navigation while on campus. Currently that is solved by either using the static map on asu.edu or with Google Maps. And the challenge with both of those solutions is that they provide you a rudimentary building mapping on campus, but they don't provide you any more granular instruction with that. With Class Map, our vision is to provide you with step-by-step instructions from your classroom door to classroom door. Secondly, we want to build in some language applications into it so that we can focus on international students that may be also facing a language barrier, as we indicated. With that brief overview, I'm going to turn it over to Brittany to go over some of the details.
So here we really wanted to keep Bader in mind when we did our first prototype. On the first picture here, we can see what Bader would see when he pulls out his phone to try and figure out how to get to his classroom. We have two options here, a quick route and a saved route. The saved route would actually allow Bader to put in his classes weeks before he had to show up to them, instead of coming to campus weeks before with friends to try and figure out where these classrooms were located. In the second picture here, we can see that quick route, and that's going to be where he can put in his current location or his starting room, and then put where he wants to end. On the third picture here, we can see those saved routes. They're easily stored there, so he can just click them whenever he needs to get to those classes. On the next slide here, we can see once he's keyed in which route he wants, we see an overall view of the campus. So this is going to work kind of like Google Maps, where it's going to allow him to find his way to the actual building he's looking to get to. The second picture here is an example of our software programming that we've already began, and this finds the most optimal path to the actual classroom door within the building. The third picture here is a function that we added later upon interviews with many of the international students here at ASU, and we found that a lot of them would like to see instructions written out in their native language. They felt uncomfortable approaching people on the streets and asking them in English to explain it, so this allows them to select their own language and see the directions written out. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to Robbie for the competitive analysis.
For our competitive analysis, we are trying to compare with Google Maps, which we are trying to emerge with, and as you go. Google Maps has the language setting, but it doesn't help you get to the actual class. As you go, help you to the actual class, get you to the actual class, but it doesn't have the language setting, which Badir and other students are struggling with. Class Map, our app, is able to provide you the class routing and the safe route, as well as written class direction and a language setting that you can view with your native language. With that, let's go over to the Meet the Team slide. My name is Robbie. I'm one of the programmer.
I'm Hussein, and I'm in communication.
My name is Scott, with sales background.
Brittany Hinsey, and I do team organization.
Jeremy Johnson, I did the art and programming. And here we have a brief overview of where we were and where we're going to go, and the breakdown of costs. We're asking for $1,000 because a lot of programming needs to be done in order to be competitive with Google Maps, even with the plans for integration. And we plan on having a release sometime around January, and then having post-release advertisement.
So here we just wanted to show another testimonial. This is my friend Alex, and he, like Bader, was struggling with finding classes. So we really want this application to speak to international students and be able to help them with this problem they're experiencing.
So class map, a path from your last class to your next one.